Tonight, regional air passengers left grounded as Rex slashes flight numbers. And a Port Pirie MP calls for a coronavirus testing clinic to be set up in the city as soon as possible.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. Regional airline passengers are facing drastic cuts to their services. Regional Express announcing they're reducing flight numbers by 45%, with the company axing all flights between Port Augusta and Adelaide.
In just over 2.5 weeks, Rex will no longer be in the skies between Port Augusta and Adelaide. It's one of 3 routes completely suspended as part of nationwide reductions on flights that'll see some services within the region slashed by 2/3.
Airlines are financially struggling very quick because their cash flow turnover is quite high. So as soon as you have high wages and you have high cash flow turnover that stops, and it stops overnight, you have to take affirmative action straight away.
In a statement, the company confirmed their priority is ensuring the airline survives the coronavirus crisis, saying the mathematics don't stack up on cancelled routes. The rest of our region also feeling the pain with their services slashed. Whyalla has been reduced from 28 flights per week to just 12. Port Lincoln services halved to 27, whilst Broken Hill will see 7 less flights. And there could be more pain with the airline monitoring for potential further cuts into the future. Although this will put a hold on travel within the region during this pandemic, Business Port Augusta are remaining positive about the scenario.
If we're not having those people come in from the city for meetings, we have got less chance of it spreading into Port Augusta as well. So there is a flip side.
And they're hopeful these measures may allow them to eventually return once the pandemic is over.
So that when this passes, those businesses are still operational. Now, if Rex don't take this affirmative action, they may not be here when this passes, and we want them back.
Laura Milovanovic, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Member for Frome Jeff Brock has called on the South Australian Government to implement a Mid-North coronavirus testing centre. He's raised concerns residents needing tested will be forced to travel long distances to get checked.
South Australia made national news this week, opening the first regional coronavirus testing stations. These drive-thrus opening at hospitals in Port Augusta and Whyalla, helping reduce the strain at health facilities.
I commend the Minister for that, because that allows them people to actually not to go into the ED departments and to the doctors to get it tested out.
The member for Frome now questioning why the Mid-North isn't on the agenda.
People from Port Pirie is centrally located. Port Pirie, I think, would be a far better location or put one in addition to Port Augusta and Whyalla in particular.
Mr Brock claims it's unfair on regional residents that are forced to drive hours to their nearest station, leaving those vulnerable in limbo. He also believes it will relieve the pressure of recently opened clinics, especially if the crisis deepens.
It takes all the overflow away from the ED departments of the hospitals and also the doctors' clinics.
SA Health have responded to the calls, telling 7 Spencer Golf News they're planning to open one in Port Pirie, possibly as soon as next week.
We consider very strongly, seriously, about establishing one of these drive-in clinics at Port Pirie to service those particular areas.
He also urges residents to remain calm and stop panic buying supplies, as many industries are suffering through the demand.
Is creating a real issue. It's creating an issue for the transportation from the distribution points, which are all located in Adelaide, to be able to get it into the regional areas.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Broken Hill City Council has announced the upcoming meeting of elected members will take place next week. It'll go ahead at the usual time of 6:30, but locals are being urged not to attend to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Council's General Manager saying the meeting will be live streamed.
We have our live stream, as people know, and we've done a lot of work in recent months to improve the quality of the sound on that, so that won't be an impediment for people to be able to watch.
Locals looking to ask a question in the meeting's public forum are encouraged to write directly to the council. As the Adelaide Catholic Archdiocese suspends all Mass services due to the coronavirus, services in Broken Hill will continue. The Wilcannia Forbes Diocese announcing today that Sunday Mass will go ahead. Patrick Ranke has the details.
Despite the coronavirus pandemic, Mass services at churches and parishes in the Wilcannia Forbes Diocese will continue. Yesterday, the Catholic Church made the historic decision to suspend Mass services in Adelaide to help reduce the spread of COVID-19. The Easter Vigil, Holy Thursday Mass and Easter Sunday were among many traditional Catholic Easter celebrations to be cancelled. But in the Wilcannia Forbes Diocese, services will continue under strict new directives. Bishop Columba Macbeth Green telling parishioners in a letter that the public celebration of Mass will continue in the diocese in accordance with the recently introduced government regulations. Clergy have been instructed to count the number of people attending each Mass. If the number exceeds 100, extra Masses may be offered to reduce the number inside the building. Additionally, Sunday Mass will be offered outside of the church. Those attending services are encouraged to spread throughout the church to meet social distancing requirements.
Broken Hill's COVID-19 clinic is up and running at the local hospital, the first one in the Far West Local Health District. The clinic has already conducted a number of tests, with no confirmed cases reported in the city. Those needing to be tested can find the centre just down from the main entrance to the hospital. The local health district reminding locals they must meet the specific criteria to be tested. And a reminder, there's a toll-free national hotline available. If you need more information or you believe that you've come into contact with the virus, contact 1-800-020-080. Additionally, information's available on the SA Health, New South Wales Health and Federal Health Department websites. Those links can be found on our Facebook page. Still to come tonight, the Nurses Union calls for more support for workers as demand for medical care increases. And a picture of a shark going viral for all the wrong reasons. Welcome back. The Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation is calling on the government to take action in our hospitals, saying nurses have never before confronted such challenging conditions amidst the coronavirus. Laura Milovanovic has more.
As the global pandemic continues, the demand of healthcare is leaving hospitals around the region trying to keep up.
Doing even more with even less. So while facing head-on the invisible assailant that's coronavirus, that could in fact make themselves just as sick as their patients.
The Nurses and Midwifery Federation is calling on the government to help ease the stress felt over this period. The Port Augusta Hospital has already seen an increase of 25% walking through the emergency department just this month.
We are expecting to see in a very rapid way double shifts, overtime, and nurses and midwives being asked to risk their own personal safety.
Verbal and physical abuse towards staff are becoming increasingly common.
They've been spat on, kicked and punched because of uncontrolled violence and aggression, and now they're going to be called on to provide nursing and midwifery care, potentially in wartime conditions.
They're wanting to see improvements in pay and working conditions.
We have been talking about a package that deals with fundamental issues such as safe staffing, a safe workplace, and an attraction and retention package that matches what the police got, which is about 2.5%.
In a statement, Treasurer Rob Lucas says negotiations will continue, but now is not the time to engage in politics. The Federation says any support will reassure the nursing and midwifery community that they are valued and appreciated.
SA Water's $137 million investment to refurbish mains across the state has now reached Whyalla. Around 640 metres of new water main pipes will soon be installed as part of continued efforts to improve water services for customers across South Australia. The 6-week project will replace old material with new pipes made from PVC. SA Water says the new infrastructure will last around 100 years years, ensuring customers have a reliable water supply. For more information on where SA Water is renewing water mains across the state, visit their website at sawater.com.au. Amidst all the concern of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, local doctors are reminding us to get a flu shot ahead of the approaching season. Rural doctors saying there has never been a more important year to get a jab.
It's not a vaccine for coronavirus, but it will protect you from the flu.
If you have the flu injection, that will help with the immune system. Even though the current flu vaccine is unlikely to have a treatment for the existing pandemic.
As the world continues to deal with COVID-19, the Rural Doctors Association of Australia are urging the population to be mindful of the approaching flu season. Last year, over 200,000 Australians were diagnosed with influenza, the highest on record. GPs saying now is the time to get a shot.
So the government apparently this year is going to manufacture a significantly higher number, because we believe there may be an increased uptake.
Doctors hoping to prevent a perfect storm of those contracting coronavirus and influenza at the same time.
The people who the government terms as vulnerable person for the COVID-19 almost completely overlaps with the people who are at high risk of getting the flu.
Influenza vaccines funded through the National Immunisation Program are available to those people at risk. They include children from 6 months to less than 5 years, pregnant women, the elderly and all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. From the start of May, people need to be vaccinated against the flu before visiting an aged care facility. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A picture of a shark has gone viral for all the wrong reasons after it was sighted with a thin rope cutting into its neck. The distressing sight captured by a passenger on board one of Port Lincoln's famed cage dives.
Tangled up with deep cuts in its skin, a great white shark spotted with a piece of rope twisted around its neck. This photo captured in Port Lincoln on board shark cage dive company Calypso Star Charters.
Look, unfortunately we see the odd one. I mean, it's probably only, one or two a year sort of thing.
The 2.5 metre apex predator was seen around the Neptune Islands on yesterday's tour, a popular area for shark sightings.
Just highlights that the ocean's a pretty dangerous place regardless of who you are.
Calypso Star now on the hunt for the male shark in a bid to free him from his distressing situation.
We're going to get a bit of equipment from the Department of Environment today that they actually have on hand to assist with whale entanglements and stuff like that. So so I'll grab their stick and cutter this afternoon.
Great white sharks are listed as a vulnerable species due to overfishing and becoming caught in nets and rope like this. Using a stick method, the charter company hoped to cut him free without losing a hand.
The best we can probably do is cut it, sort of thing, so that then hopefully, over time it'll free itself.
Despite the distressing scene, charter companies say it's a rare sight to find sharks entangled in net. But recent government surveys have found an increase of discarded rope and nets in our ocean.
Hopefully we can cut the line and set him free.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. The famed Tuna Classic to go ahead despite concerns over the coronavirus. And a Port Pirie football club unveils new upgrades. Dozens of fishers are preparing to hit the water in Port Lincoln this weekend for the annual Tuna Classic Riviera. The event forging ahead despite receiving some cancellations due to the coronavirus outbreak.
A fleet of 24 strong boats taking to the water, anglers eyeing off who can catch the most bluefin tuna for this year's Riviera Classic.
Local knowledge, a lot of boats from Adelaide. Pretty good, we've got worked out where we're going to go, so hopefully that pays off.
The annual competition forging ahead despite the coronavirus outbreak, which has continued to cause chaos for other festivals.
What we've done is, for every boat, we've only asked them to bring 4 crew to the briefing night, so that keeps us under the 100 limit.
The competition has quickly become a flagship event for anglers across the nation, priding itself on its sustainability by using single hooks.
It gives a fish a better chance of survival. It's actually statistically 83% chance, or better than 83% chance for the fish to survive.
David Buckland, who was crowned champion boat last year, caught more than 30 fish. He's now entered again to defend his title.
You know, 5 of us go out in the boat and just have a blast. We all love fishing, so and it's pretty competitive with the other boats.
With 17 different categories, from heaviest fish to best angler, there's a prize for everyone. The youngest competitor, 9-year-old Harry, is already proving he'll be tough to beat.
Young Harry, who competes every year, he's won 3 championships, small fry, 9 years old, and hopefully he's back again this year and bigger and better than ever.
The boat sets sail tomorrow morning. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Police across the region are temporarily suspending major RBT operations as part of a national strategy to help reduce the spread of coronavirus. SAPOL's action follows a number of other Australian police agencies who've introduced similar policies. Random breath tests will still be permitted across the regions. Police say the safety of their roadside patrols are a high priority, but they've confirmed they will continue to enforce strict regulations around drink driving and other road offences. Wyler's Visitor Centre has suspended the popular Steelwork Tour in a bid to stop the spread of coronavirus. The lengths of the tour, combined with the close proximity of participants, force the centre to halt them until further notice. Visitors will still be able to access HMAS Wyler. However, modifications have been made. Tours have increased to 4 per day. However, groups will be smaller and access to confined areas has been restricted. Anyone with questions or concerns are advised to contact the centre. Port Football Club has received much needed maintenance thanks to their dedicated Port Pirie volunteers. The season may be delayed, but members are encouraging residents to still come and support the venue.
Out with the old and in with the new, these club rooms have received a much needed facelift.
Pretty much forced to do something in our front bar that was getting very old, and some of the ceiling panels were getting very dilapidated, and the carpet was really requiring replacements.
Everyone that walks in, they're like, whoa, whoa, because it was just so old before, so it's such a difference and so much brighter here, so it's good.
And while the footy club season has been pushed back until May, club officials say they remain in good spirits.
And the hospitality industry, I think, is going to be facing some very tough times over the next few months.
The revamp helped along by a number of volunteers.
Without the volunteers, I think on the first day when we stripped the bar, we had 40 players and ex-players and club people here ripping everything out.
Also bringing the memorabilia up to the 21st century, this electronic handler helping to cluster the walls.
I think with the electronic we can get more stuff out there and more of the club history being constantly displayed, and because it's changing all the time in the front bar, people notice it.
The club is remaining open with new precautions in place, staff encouraging supporters to get behind them while footy season is in limbo.
It's my job, like I've got to still work and pay my rent and do all that stuff, so it'd be good for everyone to still come and support us and the club.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. More events cancelled due to COVID-19. And Alex Sykes will join us with the latest weather details. Hello again. A Wyler refugee advocacy group has called off its annual Palm Sunday rally. Compassion and Justice for Refugees cancelling the event due to the outbreak of coronavirus. The group was founded to raise public awareness for detainees, conducting a number of events each year. In a statement, spokesperson Jenny Condola says our uncertain future due to the illness is something many stuck in detention centres face for years or even a lifetime. And all the region's local footy clubs have been ordered to stop holding trainings as part of COVID-19 guidelines. The message from the AFL is for all trainings for all grades across each club in every competition to cease immediately. It's the latest setback for country footy, following the decision to postpone the start of all local seasons to the end of May. The AFL says that health and safety for all involved in the national game is their #1 priority. And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather this weekend. Here's Alex Sykes with the details.
Thanks, John, and good evening, everyone. Conditions were a little more bearable today with a cool change dropping temperatures across the region. Port Augusta was sunny and 26 degrees, Whyalla partly cloudy and 24, a shower and 23 in Port Lincoln, Broken Hill 29, Port Pirie partly cloudy 26 and Adelaide reached 23 degrees. A band of cloud clearing over east and south Australia is generating patchy showers over southern parts of the state. Our region, however, remains mostly clear under a high pressure system. Looking at the waters for tomorrow, south to southeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas reaching between 1 and 1.5 metres, and the sun will rise at 7:19 with sunset at 7:25. Partly cloudy conditions expected across the region tomorrow. Port Augusta set for a top of 28, Whyalla 24, Port Lincoln, Cleve and Coffin Bay all 23, Woodner and Port Pirie 27, Quorn partly cloudy and 28, Broken Hill sunny and 29, Clare 25, Kadina 24 and Adelaide 22 degrees. Looking ahead to the next 4 days, mostly fine conditions for Port Lincoln reaching 21 on Sunday and Monday, 22 on Tuesday, Cleve expecting 20 on Sunday, 22 Monday, 24 Tuesday, and in Woodner partly cloudy and 26 Sunday, 25 Monday and cloudy and 27 expected on Tuesday. Whyalla partly cloudy until mid next week, 22 on Sunday, 23 Monday, reaching 25 by Tuesday. Similar conditions expected for Port Augusta, it's 25 on Sunday, 26 Monday, cloudy and 28 Tuesday. And in Kadina, 23 Sunday, 26 Monday, reaching 27 on Tuesday. In Port Pirie, it'll be partly cloudy and 25 Sunday, 26 on Monday, 27 Tuesday. Cooler in Clare, 21 Sunday, 22 Monday, 23 Tuesday. And finally to Broken Hill, where it'll be sunny and 26 on Sunday, 24 Monday, partly cloudy and 26 on Tuesday. So it's looking dry and mostly sunny heading into next week. I hope you have a great weekend. John, it's back to you.
Thanks, Alex. And that's your local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can keep up with us on social media at our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. Just search for Spencer Golf Nightly News. I'm John Hunt, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, but until then, enjoy your evening. On behalf of the team, it's good night.